What if I told you that your morning routine, something you've done for decades without a second thought, could be silently setting you up for a stroke? I know that sounds scary, and trust me, I don't say this lightly. Most of you watching this probably think strokes only happen because of bad genetics or high blood pressure that runs in your family. But here's what doctors are discovering, and it's going to shock you. There's something much more common and much more dangerous hiding in plain sight. Every single minute, right now, as I'm speaking to you, a senior somewhere is having a stroke. And here's the heartbreaking part. It's often because of habits that seemed completely harmless, maybe even healthy. These morning choices feel so normal, so innocent, that you'd never suspect they're creating a perfect storm in your bloodstream. I'm talking about drinks you probably have in your kitchen right now. Drinks you might have had this very morning, thinking you were taking care of yourself. Today, I'm going to reveal 6 morning drinks that could be tripling your stroke risk after 60. But more importantly, I'm going to share the one critical mistake that 90% of seniors make before they even take their first sip of anything. This mistake alone could be the difference between a healthy morning and a medical emergency. Stay with me until the end, because I promise you, the simple morning habit I'll show you could literally save your life. Before we begin, do me a favor. Comment, "Morning check," if you're ready to discover what might be lurking in your daily routine. And listen, if this information could help someone you love, your spouse, your parent, a friend, hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell. Your family's health might actually depend on what you learn in the next few minutes. Now, let's get right into this. The first morning drink that's putting your health at serious risk might surprise you, because it's something millions of seniors reach for thinking they're making the smart choice. I'm talking about diet sodas and zero-sugar beverages. Yes, those drinks with the bright labels promising you all the taste with none of the guilt. If you're someone who switched from regular soda to diet soda because you wanted to cut calories or manage your blood sugar, I need you to listen very carefully to what I'm about to tell you. Recent studies, and I'm talking about major research from Cleveland Clinic and other leading medical institutions, have discovered something alarming about artificial sweeteners like aspartame and sucralose. These chemicals don't just pass through your body harmlessly like you might think. Instead, they're actually confusing your metabolism in ways that can be dangerous for your cardiovascular system. Here's what's happening inside your body when you drink these supposedly safe alternatives. Those artificial sweeteners are still spiking your insulin levels, even though there's no actual sugar. Your body gets confused, your blood chemistry gets disrupted, and here's the really scary part. These chemicals are increasing blood clot formation. We're talking about an 18% increase in stroke risk for seniors who regularly consume these drinks. Now, I know this might be hard to hear, especially if you've been drinking diet sodas for years thinking you were doing the right thing. Maybe your doctor even suggested switching to diet drinks to help with diabetes or weight management. The intention was good, but the science has evolved, and we now know better. The problem is, so many of you have fallen into this trap. You see that 0 calories label and think, this must be better for me. You choose diet drinks over regular sodas, diet juices over regular juices, thinking you're avoiding the sugar that's bad for your blood pressure and your heart. But what you're actually doing is trading one danger for another. And in some ways, this new danger might be even worse. Think about it this way. Your body has been dealing with natural sugars for thousands of years. It knows what to do with them, even if too much isn't good for you. But these artificial chemicals, they're new, they're foreign, and your 60, 70, or 80-year-old body is trying to figure out what to do with them. And in that confusion, your blood vessels are paying the price. The good news is, you can fix this starting tomorrow morning. Instead of reaching for that diet soda or zero-sugar drink, try sparkling water with a slice of fresh lemon or cucumber. I know, it might taste bland at first compared to what you're used to. But here's something interesting. Your taste buds actually reset in about a week. After 7 days of skipping those artificial sweeteners, you'll start tasting the natural flavors in water, in fruits, in real food. And that diet soda you used to crave? It'll probably taste too sweet, too artificial. If you need a little more flavor, try adding a splash of 100% cranberry juice to your sparkling water, or infuse your water with mint and berries. Your blood vessels will thank you, and your stroke risk will start dropping immediately. But diet sodas aren't the only supposedly healthy choice that's backfiring on seniors. The next morning drink I need to warn you about is something many of you probably consider nutritious, something you might even drink because you think it's good for you. I'm talking about high-sodium morning beverages. And before you think, well, I don't add salt to anything, let me tell you about some drinks that are loaded with sodium that you might never have suspected. Vegetable juices. Yes, those bottles and cans of tomato juice, V8, and other vegetable blends that you grab thinking you're getting your daily dose of vegetables. Instant broths that you might sip on for warmth or because you think they're soothing for your stomach. Even some of those electrolyte drinks that are marketed to help you stay hydrated, especially the ones that claim to be good for older adults. Here's what's shocking. A single serving of many of these drinks contains between 600 to 900 milligrams of sodium. To put that in perspective, that's nearly half of your entire daily sodium limit in just one glass. And you're drinking this first thing in the morning when your blood vessels are already compromised from a night of dehydration. When you flood your system with this much sodium first thing in the morning, your blood vessels immediately start to constrict. Think of it like this. Imagine a garden hose that's already a little stiff and narrow because it's been sitting out all winter. Now imagine forcing high-pressure water through it suddenly. That's what's happening to your aging arteries when you drink these high-sodium beverages on an empty stomach. Your blood pressure spikes, not gradually, but immediately. Within 30 minutes of drinking that seemingly innocent vegetable juice, your blood pressure can jump 10 to 15 points. For someone over 60, whose blood vessels are already less flexible than they used to be, this kind of sudden pressure spike is exactly the kind of thing that can trigger a stroke. But here's why so many of you are falling into this trap. You look at that bottle of vegetable juice and think, this is healthy. I'm getting vegetables. This is better than drinking soda or coffee. You see those instant broths and think, this is warming. It's comforting. It's got to be good for me. You pick up those electrolyte drinks because the label says something about being designed for seniors or for hydration. The marketing is convincing, I'll give them that. But the reality is, the massive amount of sodium in these drinks is completely overwhelming any nutritional benefits you might be getting. It's like taking a vitamin and washing it down with poison. The harm far outweighs the good. And here's something that might make you angry. Many of these drinks could be made much healthier with lower sodium, but manufacturers load them up with salt because it makes them taste better and last longer on the shelf. They're prioritizing their profits over your health. Now, I'm not saying you can never have vegetable juice or that you need to avoid all electrolyte drinks forever, but you need to be smarter about it. First, check those labels. If you see anything over 300 milligrams of sodium per serving, it's too high for morning consumption, especially on an empty stomach. Look for low-sodium versions of vegetable juices. They do exist, though you might have to hunt for them. If you can't find low-sodium options, try diluting your regular vegetable juice with water. Cut it in half juice, half water. You'll still get some of the flavor and nutrients, but you'll cut that dangerous sodium load significantly. For broths, try making your own with low-sodium or no-sodium vegetable or chicken stock. And for electrolytes, honestly, most seniors get plenty of what they need from their regular food. Unless you're sweating heavily or have been told by your doctor that you specifically need electrolyte replacement, plain water is almost always your best choice. The key is reading those nutrition labels. I know the print is small and sometimes hard to see, but that sodium number is critical. Your blood vessels are counting on you to pay attention to it. Speaking of hidden dangers in seemingly healthy drinks, there's another category that's fooling millions of seniors into thinking they're making a nutritious choice. I'm talking about packaged fruit juices. And yes, I mean even those bottles and cartons that say 100% pure fruit juice with no added sugars. The ones with pictures of fresh oranges and apples on the label. The ones your family probably brings you thinking they're doing something good for your health. Now, this might be the hardest one for you to accept because fruit juice feels so natural, so wholesome. You might be thinking, but it's fruit. How can fruit be bad for me? And you're right, fruit isn't bad for you. But what they've done to that fruit to get it into that bottle or carton has stripped away everything that makes fruit healthy and left behind something that can be dangerous for your blood vessels. Here's what happens when they make fruit juice. They take perfectly good oranges, apples, grapes, whatever fruit it is, and they crush them, extract all the liquid, and remove all the fiber. That fiber isn't just some throwaway part of the fruit. It's what slows down how fast those fruit sugars enter your bloodstream. Without that fiber, even natural fruit sugars hit your system like a glucose bomb. When you drink a glass of orange juice first thing in the morning on an empty stomach, those concentrated fruit sugars flood into your bloodstream within minutes. Your blood sugar spikes rapidly, your blood pressure follows right behind it, and your blood vessels, especially if they're already stiff and less flexible from aging, get hit with a sudden surge of pressure that they're not equipped to handle. Think about this. It takes about 4 medium oranges to make 1 8-ounce glass of orange juice. When's the last time you sat down and ate 4 whole oranges in 5 minutes? Probably never, right? But when you drink that glass of juice, that's exactly what you're doing to your blood sugar and blood pressure. Except it's happening faster because there's no fiber to slow it down. The really frustrating part is how many families fall into this trap. Your children, your grandchildren, they see you drinking soda or diet soda, and they worry. So they switch you to fruit juice thinking they're helping you make a healthier choice. And on the surface, it makes sense. Juice sounds better than soda. Natural sounds better than artificial. But here's what they don't realize, and what you might not realize. Without that fiber, fruit juice affects your blood vessels almost identically to sugary drinks. The fact that the sugar is natural doesn't make it any less dangerous when it's concentrated and stripped of the protective fiber that would normally come with it. A glass of apple juice can spike your blood pressure just as much as a can of Coca-Cola. That's not an exaggeration. That's what the research shows. Your blood vessels don't care whether the sugar came from an apple or a sugar cane. When it hits your system in concentrated form without fiber, the damage is the same. Now, I'm not telling you that you can never enjoy fruit again. Fruit is wonderful for you when you eat it whole. When you bite into an apple, when you peel an orange, when you eat grapes one by one, you're getting all those natural sugars along with the fiber that helps regulate how your body processes them. You're also getting the vitamins, the antioxidants, all the good stuff, but in a way that's gentle on your blood vessels. If you really love having something fruity in the morning, eat a piece of whole fruit instead of drinking juice. Your body will get everything it needs, but in a way that won't spike your blood pressure or increase your stroke risk. If you absolutely must have juice, maybe it's a long-standing morning ritual that's hard to break, then dilute it. Cut it in half with water. Better yet, have just a small amount with a meal that includes fiber. Maybe pour just 2 ounces over some oatmeal or have it alongside a piece of whole grain toast. The fiber from the other food will help slow down how fast those fruit sugars hit your bloodstream. But honestly, your best bet is to retrain your taste buds to appreciate the natural flavors of whole fruits and plain water. It might take a week or 2, but once you make the switch, you'll probably find that fruit juice tastes overwhelmingly sweet and artificial. But if you think natural is always better, wait until you hear about this next category of morning drinks that are specifically designed to give you energy and keep you hydrated, but are actually doing the exact opposite for your cardiovascular health. I'm talking about energy drinks and sports drinks. Now, you might be thinking, well, I don't drink Red Bull or Monster. Those are for young people. But hold on, because this category is broader than you might realize, and some of you are drinking these without even knowing how dangerous they are for your aging body. Energy drinks aren't just those brightly colored cans you see teenagers buying at gas stations. There are versions marketed specifically to older adults. Drinks that promise to give you more energy, help you feel more alert, or boost your mental clarity. And sports drinks? Many seniors reach for these thinking they're a healthy way to stay hydrated, especially if they've been active or it's a hot day. But here's what you need to understand. These drinks contain massive amounts of caffeine. We're talking 300 milligrams or more per serving. To put that in perspective, that's like drinking 3 or 4 cups of strong coffee all at once. But it's not just the caffeine that's the problem. These drinks are also loaded with stimulants like taurine, guarana, and other chemicals that are designed to jack up your heart rate and blood pressure. Now, if you're 25 years old with a strong, flexible cardiovascular system, your body might be able to handle this kind of chemical assault. But if you're over 60, with blood vessels that are already less flexible than they used to be, with a heart that's already working harder than it did when you were younger, this combination can be absolutely devastating. Within 30 minutes of drinking one of these beverages, your heart rate can spike by 20 beats per minute or more. Your blood pressure can jump by 10 to 15 points. But here's the really scary part. In seniors, this combination can trigger dangerous heart rhythm problems called arrhythmias. Your heart starts beating irregularly, and that irregular heartbeat increases your risk of blood clots forming. At the same time, these stimulants are making your blood vessels less flexible, more rigid. So you've got higher pressure pushing through stiffer pipes. That's a recipe for disaster. That's exactly the kind of situation that leads to strokes. Yet so many of you are falling into this trap because the marketing is so convincing. You see a sports drink and think, this will help me stay hydrated. You see an energy drink marketed to seniors and think, this will help me feel more energetic, more like my younger self. But what these companies aren't telling you is that these products were designed for young athletes who are sweating buckets during intense physical activity. They were never meant for seniors sitting at home or going about their normal daily activities. When a 20-year-old marathon runner drinks a sports drink after running 10 miles in 90-degree heat, they're replacing fluids and electrolytes they've actually lost through heavy sweating. But when you drink that same sports drink while watching TV or after a gentle walk around the neighborhood, you're just flooding your system with unnecessary sodium, sugar, and chemicals that your body doesn't need and can't handle well. The same goes for energy drinks. A young person might be able to process all those stimulants without major cardiovascular consequences, but your 60, 70, or 80-year-old heart and blood vessels are not equipped for that kind of chemical stress. If you're looking for natural energy in the morning, try this instead. Warm lemon water with just a tiny pinch of high-quality Himalayan salt. The lemon provides vitamin C and natural flavor. The warm water helps with digestion and circulation, and that tiny bit of natural salt helps with electrolyte balance without overwhelming your system. You'll be amazed at how refreshed and energized you feel without putting your cardiovascular system at risk. And for hydration, plain water is always your best choice. Room temperature, filtered if possible, and just sip it throughout the day. Your body knows exactly what to do with water. It doesn't have to work to process artificial chemicals or deal with massive doses of stimulants. I know it might feel boring compared to those colorful, flashy drinks with their promises of energy and vitality. But boring is good when it comes to your blood vessels. Boring keeps you alive and healthy. Now, you might think coffee is the obvious culprit in all of this, and you'd be partially right. But there's a specific type of coffee drink that's particularly dangerous for seniors, and it's one that many of you might be choosing thinking you're being smart about your caffeine intake. I'm talking about sweetened iced coffee. And I know what you're thinking, but I switched to iced coffee because it's supposed to be easier on my stomach than hot coffee. Isn't that better? Unfortunately, what most of you don't realize is that while iced coffee might feel gentler going down, the added ingredients are making it far more dangerous for your stroke risk than regular hot coffee ever was. Here's what's happening when you drink that sweetened iced coffee from the coffee shop, or even those bottled versions from the grocery store. You're getting a triple threat that's creating chaos in your bloodstream. First, you've got the caffeine, which by itself can raise your blood pressure. Then you've got added sugars, often in the form of flavored syrups or sweeteners that spike your blood sugar rapidly. And finally, you've got artificial creamers that contain chemicals and often hidden sodium. When these three things hit your system together, especially first thing in the morning when your blood is already thick from sleeping, they create a perfect storm. Your blood sugar spikes, your blood pressure jumps, and your blood actually becomes thicker and stickier. It's like turning your bloodstream into syrup and then trying to push it through aging, less flexible blood vessels. But here's what makes this even worse. Those store-bought iced coffee drinks often contain hidden sodium that you'd never expect. Check the label on your favorite bottled iced coffee. You might be shocked to find 100, 200, even 300 milligrams of sodium in a single serving. That's on top of all the sugar and caffeine. So now you're getting four things working against your cardiovascular system all at once. Many of you switched to iced coffee because someone told you it was easier on your stomach, or because you thought it was a lighter, more refreshing way to get your morning caffeine. The coffee shops certainly make it sound appealing. All those fancy names, those beautiful photos of creamy, sweet-looking drinks. And yes, iced coffee might be easier on your stomach, but what it's doing to your blood vessels is far more dangerous than any stomach discomfort you might have avoided. Think about it this way. When you drink hot black coffee, you're getting caffeine, and that's it. Your body knows how to deal with caffeine. It's been doing it for decades. But when you drink that sweetened, creamy iced coffee, you're asking your 60, 70, or 80-year-old body to process caffeine, handle a sugar rush, deal with artificial chemicals, and manage extra sodium all at the same time. That's a lot of stress on a system that's already working harder than it used to. The really frustrating part is that many of you are paying premium prices for these drinks, thinking you're treating yourself to something special, not realizing you're actually paying to increase your stroke risk. Those $5 iced coffee drinks aren't just expensive, they're dangerous. But here's the good news. You can still enjoy iced coffee without all the health risks. Make cold brew at home. It's actually easier than you think. Just coarse ground coffee steeped in cold water overnight, then strained. Add a splash of unsweetened almond milk or a tiny bit of real vanilla extract if you need flavor. No added sugars, no artificial creamers, no hidden sodium. Just coffee and maybe a touch of natural flavor. I know it won't taste exactly like those sweet, creamy coffee shop drinks at first, but remember what I told you earlier about taste buds adjusting? After a week or two of drinking real coffee without all the added junk, those overly sweet coffee drinks will probably taste artificial and overwhelming. And honestly, once you start making your own cold brew, you'll wonder why you were ever paying coffee shop prices for drinks that were working against your health. Your wallet and your arteries will both thank you. But here's the shocking truth. None of these drinks I've talked about so far are actually the biggest threat to your cardiovascular health. As dangerous as diet sodas, high-sodium drinks, fruit juices, energy drinks, and sweetened coffee can be, there's one morning mistake that's even more deadly. And it's something that 90% of seniors do without even thinking about it. The most dangerous mistake happens before you drink anything at all. I'm talking about skipping water entirely when you first wake up. That's right. The deadliest morning mistake isn't what you're drinking, it's what you're not drinking. It's walking past that glass of water and going straight for your coffee, your juice, your whatever else, without giving your body the one thing it desperately needs after 7 or 8 hours without any fluids. Think about this for a moment. You've been asleep for 8 hours. During that time, you haven't had a single drop of water, but your body has been working all night long. Your heart has been beating, your lungs have been breathing, your kidneys have been filtering, and all of that work requires water. By the time you wake up, your blood has become thick and sluggish. Your brain cells are literally dehydrated. Your heart is working overtime trying to push that thick blood through your vessels. Now, in this state, with thick blood, dehydrated cells, and a cardiovascular system that's already under stress, what do most seniors do? They get up and immediately drink coffee, or juice, or diet soda. They ask their already struggling system to process caffeine, or sugar, or artificial chemicals, without first giving it the basic thing it needs most: plain, simple water. This is like trying to start a car that's been sitting in the cold all night without letting the engine warm up first. You're asking your body to go from 0 to 60 when it's not prepared for it. And for your cardiovascular system, this kind of shock can be the trigger that leads to a stroke. When you skip that first glass of water, you're tripling your risk of blood clot formation. Your thick, dehydrated blood is much more likely to form dangerous clots. Your brain isn't getting the oxygen it needs. Your heart is working 3 times harder than it should be. You're literally setting yourself up for the very thing you're trying to avoid. But here's the beautiful, simple solution: 1 glass of room temperature water. That's it. Before you check your phone, before you start the coffee, before you do anything else, drink 1 full glass of plain water. Within minutes, your blood starts to thin out. Your heart doesn't have to work as hard. Your brain gets the hydration it's been craving all night. You're giving your body exactly what it needs to function safely. And the amazing thing is, this one simple habit, drinking water first, can undo so much of the damage from the other drinks I've talked about. If you drink water first, and then have your coffee, the impact on your blood pressure is much less severe. If you hydrate properly before having any other beverage, your body is better equipped to handle whatever comes next. I understand. Learning that your daily routine might be harming you is frightening. Many of you have been drinking these beverages for years, maybe decades. You've been following the same morning routine since you were young, and now I'm telling you it could be dangerous. I know that's a lot to process, and it might feel overwhelming. But here's the empowering truth. Knowledge gives you control. Before today, you didn't know. You were making choices based on marketing, on habit, on what felt right. But now you know better, and knowing better means you can do better. Instead of feeling guilty about past choices, focus on this. Starting tomorrow morning, you have the power to dramatically reduce your stroke risk with simple swaps. Your brain, your heart, and your family will benefit from every smart choice you make. You don't have to be perfect. You don't have to change everything at once. Just start with one thing. Tonight, before you go to bed, place a glass of water by your bedside. Make it the first thing you see when you wake up. Tomorrow morning, drink it first, before anything else. Then make just one, of the swaps I mentioned. Maybe switch that diet soda for sparkling water. Maybe dilute your fruit juice. Maybe make your own iced coffee instead of buying the sweetened version. Small changes create massive health improvements. Remember, your body is incredibly resilient. Even if you're 70, 80, or 90, these changes can still make a meaningful difference in your health and quality of life. Your blood vessels can become more flexible. Your blood pressure can improve. Your stroke risk can decrease. It's never too late to start taking better care of yourself. Let me quickly recap what we've covered today, because I want to make sure these life-saving points stick with you. We talked about 6 dangerous morning drinks that are increasing your stroke risk. Diet sodas and zero-sugar beverages that confuse your metabolism and increase blood clots. High-sodium drinks like vegetable juices and broths that spike your blood pressure immediately. Packaged fruit juices that hit your bloodstream like sugar bombs. Energy and sports drinks that overwhelm your aging cardiovascular system. And sweetened iced coffee that creates a triple threat of caffeine, sugar, and artificial chemicals. But most importantly, and I cannot stress this enough, never skip that first glass of water when you wake up. That simple habit alone could be the difference between a healthy morning and a medical emergency. Now, I'm really curious about something, and I'd love to hear from you in the comments. Which of these drinks surprised you the most? Was it the diet sodas? The fruit juice? Maybe you had no idea about the sodium in vegetable juice? And here's what I'm really curious about. What do you typically drink first thing in the morning? Be honest. Comment below and tell me your current morning routine, because your answer might help other viewers make better choices. Sometimes we learn just as much from each other as we do from the research. If this video opened your eyes to hidden health risks that you never knew existed, I'd be grateful if you'd subscribe to Elderly Healthcare. I'm here to give you the straight truth about protecting your health after 60, even when that truth isn't what the marketing wants you to hear. Hit that like button if you're committed to making these changes, because that tells me you're serious about taking control of your health. And please, if you know someone who might benefit from this information, a spouse, a friend, a neighbor, maybe one of your adult children who's worried about your health, share this video with them. The life you save might not just be your own. Your health is absolutely worth these small adjustments. You've worked hard your whole life. You've earned the right to enjoy your later years with vitality and independence. These simple changes to your morning routine can help make that possible. Take care of yourself. Start tomorrow morning with that glass of water. And I'll see you in the next video with more ways to protect your well-being after 60. Until then, stay healthy, stay informed, and remember, you have more control over your health than you might think.